the interview by saying how excited we are about you all being able to come down to Australia for this tour. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, same here, man. I mean, it's way overdue.
So, tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to doing when you're here in Australia.
Like playing the shows is like number one for sure. I mean, every night playing after this pandemic shit, it's a pure joy. So, absolutely coming down and meeting everyone and playing the shows, but also like have a look around and see the size. I think we're gonna come down like 3-4 days early, just hang around Sydney, see what's going on.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the last couple of years, because it has been so tough on everybody, and we were one of the most locked down countries in the world. So tell us a little bit about what the last couple of years have been like for you guys, especially.
For us, it's been kind of a pivotal time, so to say. I mean, we've swapped singers, like the lockdowns, no tours. We just released Heat 2, which was an album that like kind of took off, like at least like streaming wise, and we could see, whoa, something's going on here. And then the pandemic, we couldn't do the shows. Eric left the band, and we're like, okay. So, but then Kenny came back, and we had the time to like really, because we weren't touring, we had time to just really get to know each other again by writing music and making a new album. So, but I mean, it's been rough on the music industry and like the culture industry in general. But just gonna stay, head above the surface.
Definitely.
Looking forward.
Yeah. Spending that time writing, I've spoken to some musicians who have said that they found it difficult to write during that time, and others have told me that they were able to spend all their time on their music because everything else was closed down. How did you find that experience writing music during the last couple of years?
For me, not a problem. I mean, in Sweden, we didn't have any hard lockdowns really. It was like up to each and every one to take their responsibility and not like if you were sick, stay at home. And so no hard lockdown. So we could actually see each other as long as everyone was, nice and healthy.
Yeah.
And, like did a test. So I mean, we've been together and written music, but like for us, we kind of write songs on our own a lot. Then you kind of get together with someone who vibes with the track and like finish it together. Maybe you have a chorus and a verse or whatever, and someone comes up with a like C part or whatever, solo part, and you kind of add it together, and someone maybe might write the lyrics or so. But I mean, so it's not that you always have to see each other physically to create music.
Was it frustrating seeing your music do so well, like you said, on streaming platforms and things like that, and not being able to get out there and play live for your fans?
Yeah, I mean, it really was, but you can't really dwell on it. So it's kind of okay. It is what it is. Now you got to roll with the punches. So of course it was kind of crap. And also we had like a London show sold out. I mean, it's still sold out, but we were super excited to go there. Like, sort of took a step up, and then it's just like nothing.
Now, you mentioned Kenny coming back to the band. Tell us a little bit about how that came about, because it seemed like it was a big surprise for your fans. So how did that come about with Kenny coming back to the band?
I mean, he ultimately, I think he like regretted even leaving the band in the first place. But he was in a bad place, like physically, mentally, and everything, and it was the right thing to do because he couldn't really be there and be as motivated as others. So he had to leave room for us who wanted to, go further. But now it's like I guess he spent the last 6 years like sort of transforming himself into this fucking rock god, like he's hell-bent on, he was hell-bent on getting back into the business. And I mean, I guess Heat was his ultimate goal. Like, he even told me, even before Eric left the band, he texted me, it's like, man, I don't know, I shouldn't do this, but it's like, I really want to be in the band again. I was like, yeah, but we have Eric, so that's not going to be possible. I mean, I'm not saying no. I mean, you never know what happens, and it happened. So that's kind of weird, you know.
I was going to say
but it feels good now.
Yeah, I was going to say not many people get that double chance, that second chance to be able to come back to a band that they love. What was that like when you realized, especially because you'd received that text, what was that like for you in that moment when you realized, hey, this is a chance for Kenny to come back?
It was for me. It was the only viable option, really. Like the only thing that I really want to be. You know, we like to keep it in the band. Like when Dave left the band and then Rivers left the band and Dave came back, guitar players. It's like it's still the same like band, like the same people you've been working with, and it made it kind of easy because it's so much easier to integrate. I mean, maybe having a new singer would also have been like an injection to it. But I mean, Kenny is a force of nature, so he has been injecting a shit ton of stuff into the band lately. So it's good to have him aboard again. Yeah, motivated.
Now, of course, we are talking about a tour, but of course, it would be very, very bad if I couldn't ask you about the album as well, with the album coming out this week. How do you feel about the album coming out? Are you nervous? Are you excited? And what can fans expect from this album?
The thing is, I mean, we are super happy with the album ourselves, and we think it's great. So there's really nothing to be nervous about, because if you are proud of what you've done, it's like it doesn't really matter if everyone hates it. You still we did what we wanted to do. Now the reviews are looking good so far, and the response to the first singles have been awesome. So I think we're in a good spot, like, you know, overall. So I'm not really nervous. I'm more excited. And I mean, we're gonna open for Toto this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Finland. And so then the album is out on Friday. There's going to be a party in Tampere. It's going to be pretty fun.
I'm so jealous. Toto are one of the bands that's on my bucket list to go and see. Every time they come to Australia, I seem to be out of the country at that time. How does it feel for you? You've opened up now for some of the biggest bands in the world. How does that feel for you when you go out there and you know the band that's following you is one of the biggest bands in the world?
It's just it's an honor, you know, and it's fun with Toto. Like our first big arena show that we did in 2007, before we even had a album out, was opening for Toto in the northern parts of Sweden for like 3,000 people in an arena. And for us, that was huge, you know. And we got to hang out with Lukather and the guys after. And they were like buying rounds and stuff, which was, for us, we're big Toto fans as well. So we were like, this is sick. So it's kind of a cool close circle now to be able to open up for them again now.
Definitely. Now, are you aware of the support that you have with your fans here in Australia? Of course, Heat 2 did so well here in Australia, and we've seen it with the new singles as well, Hollywood and Back to the Rhythm, that you've got a ton of Aussie fans here now. How aware are you of your Aussie fans before this tour?
I mean, we've had a couple of requests, you know, about you should come here, but you never know if it's a loud minority or what it is. But I mean, we definitely hope to see a lot of people on the tour dates. Would be awesome. But I really don't have any idea how it's going to be. I mean, I'm happy if it's fucking 5 people in the crowd that likes us, but hopefully we can be a couple more.
Yep. And what can we expect from your set lists? Because you guys now have a really, really strong back catalogue behind you. So what can we expect from the set list for here in Australia, especially considering it's the first time you've toured here?
I mean, it's sort of Heat 2 heavy at the moment because we never got to tour on it. So the set list we played now, it's kind of, I think we have 4, maybe 5 tracks. No, 4 from Heat 2. And the 3 new singles from Force Majeure is on there. But I mean, then we have at least 1 track from every album. And for, I think, Destination, I think it's 2. And I think 2 from the first album as well. So, and 1 from Freedom Rock. Yeah, we play, I mean, every album is represented in the set list, and that's how we kind of like to keep it. So, you know, every album, I mean, we have 7 albums now, so we can still do that. At some point, after like, I don't know, 10, 11 albums. If we ever come to that, it's going to be harder to incorporate every album.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned before about getting out and exploring Sydney a little bit as well. What kind of things do you like to do when you're exploring a city? Are you someone that likes to go to restaurants? Do you like to look for old music shops? What's the thing that you like to do when you're exploring a city?
Oh, everything. Like you, as you mentioned, restaurants, eat the local cuisine, like go to bars, go to music stores, like secondhand stuff. You know, we like to do all that. I mean, sometimes we do even more touristy things. I mean, we got to see the opera house and stuff like that while in Sydney, obviously. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything. But you know, we tend to find the bars.
Yeah. And we are very, very big drinkers here in Australia. Have you tasted Australian beer before?
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess Foster's is Australian.
It is, but you know the really funny thing about Foster's? Foster's isn't an Australian beer. It's an Australian beer, but nobody drinks it in Australia. It's a beer that we export, but we have so many breweries here in Australia that no matter where you are in Australia, you'll probably be able to visit a brewery as well as go to a pub or somewhere like that.
Awesome! Did you have like this craft beer explosion also like a couple of years back?
We did, yeah, and I don't think you guys are going there, but
awesome.
Tasmania in Australia has the best beers in the world, I think.
Nice.
So I've got to ask you about Aussie cuisine. How much do you know about Aussie cuisine? Is there anything that you're dying to try here?
No idea. Like, with me and Gromwell, Eric, we went to Melbourne in 2016 and played an acoustic show on Melodic Rock Fest. So I've been to Melbourne, but I can't really say that I've tried like local stuff.
Yep.
I haven't eaten kangaroo for sure.
Definitely. That's really, really good. That tastes really nice.
Awesome.
So, mate,
try that.
The other thing I was going to ask you about the shows as well. Our Aussie concert goers are known to be some of the craziest in the world. Have you been told about that, and are you prepared for some pretty crazy fans at your shows?
Oh, we're ready. We're ready for anything. I mean, we're gonna go out like balls out, high energy as always, and have a good time. I mean, going to a Heat show should always be a party. So let's have a party.
Definitely. Well, we are ready to party on the show right now. We're going to play Hollywood and Back to the Rhythm back to back. But before we go, what would you like to say to all of your fans out there before your tour, but also before they go out and grab the album this week as well?
I mean, we're really looking forward to coming down and see everyone, meet everyone in person, have a good time, and really hope that you check out the album as well. I think it's worth a listen, or 10,000.
Definitely. Well, mate, thank you